Hello everyone. Today we are going to start second part of the prose and astrologer's day from standard 12th English textbook. In first part we have seen the appearance of the astrologer, his sitting place, crowded market area and how he left his village without telling anybody. Let us start second part of this story. His long practice had sharpened his perception. The astrologer charged 3 fees per question, remaining silent for at least 10 minutes. He silently listened to his clients for the first 10 minutes and gathered sufficient information to answer the questions of the client. Writer shows his efficiency. Despite the fact that the astrologer had no knowledge of astrology, he was efficient in his business. This was possible because he had a working analysis of mankind's troubles. In addition, he would make some general statements which would be true for all. For example, he says, "In many ways, you are not getting the fullest results of your efforts. Is there any woman in your family? Most of your troubles are due to your nature." In this way, his practice was going on. Now, what was the signal for the astrologer to bundle up? The astrologer had no way of knowing the time. When the nuts vendor blew out his lamp and rose to go home, it was the signal for him. One day, he picked up his cowrie shells and paraphernalia and was putting them back into his bag when the green shaft of light was blotted out. He looked up and saw a man standing before him. As we know, he had a long practice in his profession. With the help of this, he asked him to sit down and chat with him. But the man thrust his palm under his nose and asked him, "You call yourself an astrologer?" The stranger challenged the astrologer by saying that if he gave him right answers for his questions, then he would give him 8 annas, and if he failed, the astrologer would have to pay back twice the amount. The astrologer happily accepted the challenge. The pact was accepted. The astrologer sent up a prayer as the other lit a cheroot. Suddenly, the astrologer caught a glimpse of his face by the matchlight. He felt uncomfortable. He returned back his anna and started preparation to bundle up. The other held his wrist and said, "You can't get out of it now," and forced him to continue. This time the deal was fixed at a rupee. At first, when he caught a glimpse of his client's face by the matchlight, he realized that the new client was searching for none other than himself. So he said, "You were left for dead. Am I right? A knife had passed through you once and you were pushed into a well nearby." And to satisfy his client, he even said that his enemy had died. He was crushed under a lorry. He also called his client by his name, Guru Nayak, and told him never to stir out of his village again, particularly southward, which was the direction of his town. He told him that he would live to be 100 if he stayed in his village. Now it was too late. The stranger had gone off into the night after giving the astrologer a handful of coins. It was nearly midnight. His wife was worried about him. When he reached home, he flung the coins at her and told her to count. 12.5 annas, she said, and overjoyed. Because she could prepare some sweets for her daughter. The child had been asking for sweets for many days. He decided to buy some jaggery and coconut with which she planned to prepare the sweets. The stranger had cheated the astrologer, but a great burden had been lifted out of his head. After dinner, he talked with his wife that a great load was gone from him. He felt greatly relieved on knowing that the man whom he thought he had killed was still alive. When the astrologer was young, he used to drink and quarrel with people. He had attacked a man and stabbed him and left him for dead into the well. That was the reason why he ran away from home, settled in a town, and married her. Here ended this story. Now I want to discuss with you what is the role of fate and chance in our life. The story shows that our life changes according to our fate. None of us can escape what we are destined for. Fate plays a decisive role in the story. A villager turns into an astrologer because of his fate. Again, it is fate that brings the enemies face to face. However, the story shows that not everything is dependent on fate. The way the astrologer deals with his enemy shows that the astrologer, who was irresponsible as a youngster, has changed for the better. He is now matured and is able to deal with the difficult situations. Thus, R.K. Narayan shows that though we are bound by our destiny, we can control it to some extent if we have self-control. I hope this video helps you to understand the story easily. Thank you for watching this video.